So excited. I hope it records. I think I have an option to record it after. Oh man, look at all the people joining immediately. What's up, guys? Hello. Let's go. Wow. It's a lot of you. It's a lot of you at once. It's finally happening. I mean, sort of. She's not really doing the challenge right now, but she accepted. That's all that matters. I am also very pumped. I am so ready. Like, I have, the adrenaline is killing me. Alright, so thanks for joining, guys. We're going to be starting in, like, probably 10 minutes or so. The Bolesky, verified TikTok medium, is going to be joining me soon. We're just going to be having a chat, you know, having a little debate on what it means to be a medium, what it means to be a mentalist, you know, the ethics surrounding that, her beliefs, my beliefs. And also, we're going to probably be talking about my challenge, that she is the first TikTok medium to ever accept. Inside this envelope is a passphrase that me and someone came up with a while back. Someone that passed away. And it's a secret message that I hope a medium out there can try to guess. And if they do guess it, by talking to this spirit in my life, they win $1,000. And not only that, but prove that what they do is genuine. And the Bolesky has officially accepted the challenge. She said so. After a while, you know, there was some confusion if she was going to or not, but she said she was accepting the challenge and that she would book a session with me. She said this live will not be that session. She will not be guessing during this live. Maybe. I mean, maybe she'll want to. Who knows? I don't know what... maybe she'll feel like she wants to. But she, you know, said that she would like to book a session where she does like a 2-hour meditation beforehand. But this will still be really interesting because I'm going to be performing a little bit and showing a little bit of what I do as a mentalist. And, you know, we'll talk about our thoughts. Like, this is the first time that I'll ever be talking to a medium live on TikTok, like literally just all the thoughts out there, which is going to be really interesting for you guys to see. I have no idea how it's going to go at all. So, but okay, I'm going to look at, there's a lot of these here. Which gets you more pumped, the idea of a genuine medium being there, or the idea of debunking someone? That's a good question. You know, I think a lot of people don't understand that even though I'm out here and debunking and exposing psychics and mediums and the supernatural, you know, I would literally poop my pants if she guessed what it was and if it was genuine, because that would be insane. That would be, you know, I would, and not only that, but I would love to know that this person who passed in my life is really out there and that there is an afterlife. So it'd be like a win-win for me, honestly. But that is a really good question. That's a really good question. I would definitely be excited if you know, a psychic really genuinely guessed the passphrase. And we will see. We'll see if she does. I don't know if she... I mean, she said she's not going to do it during this live. She said she's not going to guess. But who knows? Maybe I can talk her into it. Using my mentalist abilities of persuasion. Maybe we can get her to take a stab. I'm not sure if she will or not. What if she got most of it but missed a few words? It would just have to be, I mean, I guess it's situational. If it's like, you know, very close, obviously I would give it to her. Wow, 300 of you here. Thank you for joining. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is the passphrase? Probably a 10. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people have messaged me since doing this challenge, and honestly, I haven't seen anything close. But thank you guys for joining. I am really excited. This is going to be starting very soon, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so just a few minutes. I actually don't really know what time it is, and I don't want to get off the live to check, so But she should be joining soon. And it's very exciting. So everyone, get on here, get your popcorn. Me and a medium talking. Something you probably thought you'd never see happen. Because usually I just get blocked by them. But the Bolesky has officially accepted the challenge and has agreed to come on a live with me. And it was actually her idea to come on a live and just chat about everything, about what it means to be a mentalist, what it means to be a medium. Debate our beliefs. So it's very exciting. We're so close, guys. We're so close. I mean, the Bolesky, it's honestly, I'll be honest, I'll give her props for being the first medium to not just like block me and just be, you know, mean to me. She was very nice. She didn't block me. And because of that, if you've noticed, she's gotten a lot more respect from my followers. I had a lot of respect for her. It's not like I started, you know, bashing her or saying anything. Like, this is what should happen. A medium should just be, you know, willing to try. If she fails, so what? If she fails, it's not going to destroy her career. I guarantee it. And that's it, you know, and it's worth a shot for her. Why not try it, you know? Is she going to do a reading on you? I don't know, maybe. Probably not, though. We're probably just going to just talk, and I'm definitely going to do a routine for her as a mentalist. Am I going to fight her? Yeah, we're going to... like Logan Paul and you know, Mayweather, we're gonna do a UFC fight, so it'll be really exciting. I can't wait to see her in the ring. When am I doing this? Pretty much right now. As soon as she, I don't know if she's on yet. Let me check. I don't believe she is. I'm assuming she will send me a live request, and we're gonna join. And we're in. If you can't catch it, you know, I'm definitely gonna post most likely the highlights or most of or all of it on my YouTube. It's under the same name, Dustin Dean Magic. I don't really post much content on there, but some of these things, like the lives I do, I posted a live on there before. But thank you guys for joining. This is so exciting to me. You know, just a medium that's really, she's trying it. She's a verified medium on TikTok. That's she's legit as they come on TikTok, I suppose. More legit than Kelsey Davies, that's for sure. Oh, who was that? Hey, Cody. What's up, man? Oh man, this is so exciting. I'm a little anxious. I'm in Alaska? No, I'm in New York. And funny enough, I think the Bolesky is in New York right now. She's been traveling, and I saw her latest TikTok was in New York City, so we're very near to each other. You know, maybe she's trying to get some dirt on me. Who knows? Did I get Hank Green? No, Hank Green did not respond. I didn't really think he was going to respond because it's kind of out of his brand, I guess. It might split his fan base if he were to do that, which I totally understand. Where in New York? I am in central New York, right in the center of the state, not the city. I'm getting anxiety, someone said. Oh, me too. It's look, more people are joining. This is crazy. Is she gonna guess it? Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be, what if she just came on and she just guessed it, like, right off the bat? I would die. I would simply pass away in front of everyone. This is legit the highlight of my evening. I feel really bad for you, but, no, it's good. It's good. I'm also very excited. She is a little late. She is late, but that's okay. Maybe she's here. I should keep checking. I don't know if she's gonna, like, automatically join. No, I don't see her. No friends are currently live, and she's my friend on TikTok. I like your hairstyle, thank you. It's called balding at 26 years old. Oh, man. So, just to reiterate, she has made it very clear she is not guessing during this live. Oh, she's coming. She's here. Oh my gosh. This is happening.
Yeah.
Hello!
Oh my God, hi, it worked!
It's happening.
It is? What? It is happening. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was actually really excited. My husband was like, "Are you going?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'm going." Am I echoing to you?
No.
No. Okay, sorry. It's just happening in my headphones. Let me take these off really quick. Hang on.
There's a little bit of
Tell me if you can hear me or not, because it's just noise in there. What about now?
Did I disconnect? Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are you back?
Yeah, here I am.
You need to pay for better Wi-Fi.
I just turned the Wi-Fi off because it's sometimes it ruins things, and I have unlimited data.
Look. Okay, cool. Oh my God. Okay, wait, do you ever go live or no?
Yeah, once in a while.
Okay, I was like, because data a lot of times will kill it, so
Really?
be careful.
Yeah. I pretty much use it because I don't know. The Wi-Fi seems to mess up on me, but we'll see.
It's okay.
We'll see what happens.
You probably live in the country. Well, where would you like to go? I am stoked.
I don't know. What about you?
You don't know? I don't know. Tell me about you. Sorry, I'm kind of spacey right now, and so I just did like my downturn thing, and so I'm trying to get back into my headspace of like being blah like I normally am.
Right.
So tell me about you. Tell me about your thing. I actually didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Or how it works. I actually watched, the first time I actually heard about it was there's that movie about the 4 people, and one of them's like a mentalist. He's a white guy, and then they're playing like the biggest like magic, the biggest magicians, and there's 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
My husband made me watch that like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "What the shit is this?" And so I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "That's cool. I need to learn about that." Tell me about it. How did you get into it?
It's an interesting depiction on what I wouldn't say it's a very accurate depiction on what a mentalist is. It's close.
Yeah.
But it's very Hollywood, as you might imagine. Like, I'm sure there's Hollywood versions of mediums out there that, it's nothing close to what you do. But
well, I'm near Long Island right now.
Oh man,
sorry.
You are.
Hold on.
They're still there. Is that medium, Long Island medium? Is she still doing stuff?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. When it gets so repetitive as like, they love you. Well, no shit, they love you. How many times do you want to fucking say that? No, I'm sorry.
No,
that's the way that okay. Like when somebody comes up and they go and they tell you and they go, what was one of my favorite things I was listening? They're like, what they say? What was one of them? She said, she was like, they love you. She goes, what was it? Oh yeah. She's like, oh, so you remember them, right? And it's like, why the fuck are they coming to you? Of course they remember them. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. It drives me nuts. Don't even get me started. On
good point. A good point.
Yeah, exactly. No, so tell me, how did you get into it?
Yeah.
Explain. I want to post this with the mostest.
Yeah. So it all started when I was about 6 years old. My mom gave me a magic kit, and I remember I did this stupid trick for her over and over. It was like the most obvious trick, but she was my biggest fan, and she hyped me up a lot, and I really loved that feeling of entertaining. So throughout the years, I started entertaining in a lot of different ways. I was in a punk rock band. I was,
Wait. What? I was in a screamo band.
Yeah, similar. Mine was more like, I had Escape the Fate, Blink-182, Green Day. It was kind of like pop punk.
Yeah.
If that makes
sense. Yeah. Mine was all the way.
Yep.
Yelling.
I went to pro wrestling school. Very interesting fact about me. And then, anyways, I got back into magic in high school, and very interesting. I performed for my friends all the time, and I saw David Blaine and Chris Angel and Copperfield on TV. Huge fans of them. But there was another guy named Darren Brown, and he was a mentalist from the UK. And what he did was totally different to me. He was on TV, and he was just like reading people's minds. He was just guessing things. He was predicting things that people would say. He was influencing them. He was hypnotizing them, making them fall asleep and do crazy things. And another thing he would do is he would replicate what mediums do. And he has he has a few different specials. He has a seance where he does a full seance and replicates that, but then shows that the lady has actually been alive the whole time at the end, and everyone thought she was passed away. And then he also does cold reading and guesses some things from a crowd. And he he's against like faith healers, and he like debunks those. And so he kind of did a very similar thing to what I do. And it influenced me when I was about, I don't know how old I was, probably like 14 years old, but ever since then, I fell in love with mentalism, and I started to research it and learn it and create things of my own. And I learned that, mentalism it's like a branch from mediumship. It's almost like they started, they got really big around the same time, but it was two different aspects of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that came from, really, it kind of started with the Fox sisters. Are you familiar with them?
Yep. I've heard about them. I read about them a little bit. I'm a really big history nerd.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A little bit. Now, it's been a while. I think I watched a couple YouTube documentaries on them, but I can't remember.
Yeah, so they kind of, they created these seances, but, this was around the time that Houdini was pretty big, and they started to create this huge spiritualist movement, and Houdini...
it was in the late hundreds when they started saying that plasma was coming out of people's mouths.
Exactly, yes, yep. And
all that bullshit. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work.
Right, and the Fox sisters came out, and they eventually said that, at least one of them said that what they were doing was fake and all that good stuff. But regardless, it still boomed a huge spiritualist movement, which caused psychic entertainers, people eventually like Uri Geller, who would bend spoons and silverware, even though he was just a magician. But, it spiked all these different things, and that was mentalists, mediums, psychics, you name it.
Yeah.
And it all kind of, the whole magicians... and mentalists, debunking mediums and psychics and all that good stuff really comes from Houdini. Houdini used to do it all the time. That's what thing, And he offered, my challenge was influenced from Houdini himself. He had that with his...
I know. So this is the whole thing. So I actually was excited. That's why I was like, we need to do live on this.
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing. We're obviously going to have a session, and that's fine. And so I'm excited about that.
Me too.
This is how I feel I do. Part of all of this is not, there's so many things that happen that at the end of the day, when you go back over it, you're like, how the hell did that go? And so like, how did that come out? Where did that come from? Because there's portions of it when you start to get into, it's literally like a zone. It's a flow. It's not the person that you're in, like you're seeing right now. It's not this like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's very like, it's almost like, I'm on the 17th floor, but we're in New York City right now. So you can hear all the whoop, whoop. It's like a separate flow. And what I always tell people, and I say it every single time, I say, we're going to go ahead and start this. And I said, there's 4 ways that I guess you would get information. And I go, and it's depending on how they passed, what I guess we'll get more into it. Sorry, I get jumbled up on my words a lot.
Yeah.
And how they passed, how strong they are, how long it's been, blah, blah, blah. I said, but it really comes down to 4 different bits of information. One is that I get a lot of signs and symbols that mean something to me. I mean, and everything, like there's random ones that I'm like, what the fuck is that? So usually like white balloon for me means anniversary or birthday, right? And but then you can get feelings with it. So you get a really sad feeling. So you're like, oh fuck, now I know that means death anniversary. But then there's also signs and symbols that come up, and it's like they take it out of your daily normal life that you see, but things just happen. So let's back up. Here's one of these unexplained, and I still look at it and I'm like, I don't understand this. So I had just watched Forrest Gump.
Okay.
I just watched it. I was 5, and so I was like, let's go back and have like a what's his face thing. So it was like Forrest Gump and then what is the one with Wilson? I forget his name right now. I don't watch a whole lot of movies.
Castaway.
But Castaway. Thank you. Yeah, watch that. And so, anyways, I was having a session that night. It was my second one.
Yeah.
And the guy is coming through for the daughter, and he shows me the scene from Forrest Gump where it says, "Lieutenant Dan, I ain't got no legs."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm looking at this girl, and she's like staring at me, and I'm like, I can't say this to her, and all I have is a name, like, right, Daryl. And I'm like, he's very funny, and I'm like, he keeps showing me this scene. I was like, so either he was in the Vietnam War, I said, or he was in war, or he had his legs blown off, or both. And I was like, I'm just gonna tell you it. And I told her what it was, and she was like, he was in World War II, and he had both of his legs blown off. And I was like, well, Lieutenant Dan really ain't got no legs, you know? Yeah. And so at that point, it's like when you, and, you know, I sit there and I'm like, holy shit, where did that go? Like, how random, right? And so, and then it goes, you know, even further. It goes even further. It goes even deeper. Because then after the signs and symbols, it goes in the feelings and emotions. And then from there, it goes into where they almost like plop you down or put you in a situation and make you feel it and see it. There was this one client I had. She just wanted a general session. Nothing more, right? I did a whole bunch. You do a 2-hour meditation beforehand, which is really just me zoning the fuck out and locking myself in a room and not paying attention to anything, along with classical music. And then, so I get into this session with her, and I'm like, are you okay if people that have passed have come through? And of course, you have to give permission. She's like, yeah, right. So anyways, so I get into it, and you get this overwhelming, first off, repressive feeling. Okay, so I'm like, oh shit, this person died tragically. Like, you can feel it. It's thick. It's like a frequency. That's the only. It's like sound. Everything is sound. Everything is energy. Like, sound is energy. Light is energy. You coming through this camera is energy. You can pick up on it. Frequency for music is energy. You can feel it if it's higher, if it's low, if it's evil, if it's good, whatever it is. Hell doesn't exist. But with this person comes through, and it's a gentleman, and I'm asking them, because I always like to ask, like, how did you die? Like, explain to me how this is, because everybody dies in very interesting different ways. I can tell you that, and they all feel very different. And this gentleman is showing me that he is in this like super tiny room that is really, really dusty, and you can feel it, and you can feel the anxiety, you can feel the claustrophobia, you can kind of hear what's going on at the same time. And so you hear people yelling, but they're yelling in like this hardcore, like New York, New Jersey accent, and like you can feel it. It's thick in this panic, and then all of a sudden you feel it sounds like a train coming through a tunnel, ba 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 ba, and then out. And I was like, I've never felt this way. I don't know how this is. I'm like, I feel like I'm locked in a box. And then you hear like everything coming towards you, and then you're gone. And I'm explaining it to her, and she says, he died in the Twin Towers.
All right.
And I had a moment. I cried, because I'm like, this doesn't make, how do you experience this? How do you feel that? How do you see that? And talk to my friends and my family. And at the end of it, I'm like, I think part of it is that I'm not the person that's like, you know, oh, I'm doing this amazingly. Oh, it's bad. It's more like, how the fuck did that happen?
Right.
I want to figure out, wow.
Now,
you know,
I will say, in my experience as a mentalist, and this happens to a lot of us mentalists, and it happened to Uri Geller as well, where we, you know, here I read people, right, but in a different way than you do, but also similar. I read people and I guess things, right, and sometimes, I'll give you an example. I was doing a routine I do with someone at my work. Okay, this was a couple years back, and I was going through a normal thing, and he wrote a name on a piece of paper, and there was like a bunch of other papers that he like mixed up. So like most of them were blank, but one of them was the name that I didn't know what it was or who it was or anything. And he mixed them up, and I told him to just like put his hand over them and just take one. And before we looked at it, I said, you know what? I'm getting a sense that this is someone you looked up to, and say this was someone that was in the war, I think, and I think this was your grandfather. And then he said, yeah. And I said, okay, but there's something else I'm seeing. I'm seeing like there's a wooded area in the back somewhere. There's like woods somewhere. I see that. and he's going out and he found something in the dirt and he gave it to you. And I don't know if this was like a shrapnel or like a bullet from like war that he found like on the ground. And he said yes. Now I'll be totally honest. And then I guessed the name, which happened to be James. But regardless, the weird thing is, and I'll be totally honest with you, that was just me guessing. It was just me using like my gut, like going like, you know what, this sounds right to me, and I'm gonna go with it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm still gonna go through and do the trick, and it'll be fine. But it was a guess, and it hit so good. And that kid will never be able to, explain that. He won't. He's gonna leave saying like, how would he possibly know that that was my grandfather and that he gave me a bullet from World War II or whatever it was? And
Mm-hmm.
and that's something to me that's people will.
What would be the difference between gut and intuition? Because they're half and half. They're roped in hand.
So scientists say that there's something called practiced intuition. And what this means is in your experience, you begin to build up a sense of intuition, but that's basically just experience, right? So they say like a police officer in all the years he's been a police officer, he'll be able to notice something wrong right away more than someone who's newer to the field. And that's not because, it's going to happen the same way every time. Like every situation a police officer would go in would be different, but they get these feelings that like something's wrong or something's up, and they call that practice intuition. And I believe that as a mentalist or someone who gives readings, you get that yourself from practice. It's just like these same things that come up over and over, and you start to connect the dots and you realize like, this feels right for this person. This is what I'm getting off of them. And me personally, I don't think that's anything supernatural. But I mean, obviously we all have different beliefs, and there could be, I'm not, what I'm,
Oh no.
you know.
I totally get it, and that's why I'm here. I'm like loving it. I'm totally, it's like, and this is where it's a fine line, right? Like right in this part, it's a fine line, because on you, those quote unquote guesses, for me, especially coming from a spiritualist background and going through and predicting literally like when I would have my own death, or like when my father was going to die. Right. And like, because you can feel the end of it with all of this. You have to remember that the whole world, the whole earth, this whole thing around us is just it's a pattern. Pythagoras proved it, right? It's all a pattern. And so if you follow the pattern along with, the law of attraction, if you go into that, if you will something and you put out that frequency and you put out that energy, it comes back to you, right? So it's like, it's all there. It's math, it's logic. And I guess that's where I'm trying to put it together, because there's been so many things that have happened to me, and so many things that I read, and when you get into it and when you can hear their voice and you can feel them and you can feel how they died, like there's no logic. Huh?
Do you, when you say you hear the voice, I grew up with someone, right, that, well, first of all, do you believe in like God, like a Christian's God?
I can tell you that when we all go to a place that none of us really understand, because we're in a physical mindset. But if there is some sort of energy source / power that creates this. Now, is it a man? No, because we're stupid to think that.
Right.
That's chaotic, right? Is it a person? No. And are we all connected like a grid? Yes. So get over it and be nice and have a great time.
Because here's where it becomes interesting to me, right? So I grew up with someone who, very similar to what you're saying, would get these feelings if someone was about to pass away, and they and very heavily Christian, though, like very heavily Christian. Did not like she didn't like mediums or psychics or anything like that, because it was like against the Bible, whatever. So, all that good stuff. So she would say that she could hear God speak to her, and directly, and could hear his voice, and she would,
Well, you are God. God lives within you. We are all God.
Right.
Jesus says that I are one with the Father and the Son all the way through and through. I mean, literally, if you read the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Peter, you go into the Gospel of Magdalene Mary and you take out the old, I mean, everything all the way back to it. Before we started telling people they were going to go to hell because they didn't give 10% of their wage to pay for a freaking thing.
Exactly.
Like, it started in a field and everybody was just there. Like, people are like, oh, you talk to ghosts or you talk to spirit. You're praying to the Holy Spirit. Like, you're talking to Jesus.
Right.
That's
it's very ironic.
And he comes in you every night too. Sorry.
Now hang on.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, is it you, or is it like this person in my life? Were they really hearing a God? Are you really hearing spirits, or is it your inner voice? You know, is it your
well, yeah, and that's part of it. Like, you know, I've had 4 near-death experiences, and like I can tell you beforehand, before those, it didn't come through like that, and I can tell you the way that it sounds. It's not a sound like, oh, it sounds like I have a headset in my ear, right? It's not like that. It's like think of your favorite song and your singer singing it, right? And you can hear it. That's how it sounds, but it takes on like it takes on the richness, the tone, the accent, and then it even goes. And when you're in that meditative state, when you're in that state where you move your mind out, and it's like the whole world dissolves around you. I call it zoning out, and nothing else exists. You allow that to step in, but I'm not dead, so I don't know exactly what it is.
Okay.
I just work here. That's it.
Right.
I tell you over how it feels, but I can tell you after having those near-death experiences and after coming out of it, and I remember this last time I had a MRSA staph in my CSF fluid after having a brain surgery, and coded everything like that, came out of it, and when they got me out of the coma and they pulled me back over, and I ended up leaving the hospital about 3 or 4 weeks later. I remember my mom was driving me home because obviously I couldn't drive because I had this big old cut and all this shit. And so I'm going home and we're getting in there, and getting in the car, and I'm looking, and the grass is so bright, and everything is so bright. Like, I'm even feeling compassion for the hobo on the side of the street in Houston that smells like dog piss. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it started getting more intense. But like after every single one of these things, it started getting more intense. And I'm very logical with all of this, or I very much try to be. I mean, I would have to say that I'm my own biggest skeptic. So I rewatch my stuff. I re-listen to it. I, that's why it's so set up a certain way, because I'm trying to figure out what it is. And at this moment, like as of like 2 days ago, I'm like, you know what? We're just going to let it happen. And maybe we don't have to figure out everything, you know, and you just got to go with it. Cause I think at some level you got to just let it flow.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Let me ask you this. How do you feel about, in doing this and in learning from James Randi, who was basically like the guy before me that would, debunk psychics and offer a challenge. And as someone I've looked up to, who recently he passed away a couple of years ago. Maybe a medium can try to reach him, but I doubt it. But
if they're okay, this is a whole thing.
They have to be.
If the medium is worth their snuff. So there's 2 types of channeling. Actually, there's 3. There's one called bullshit. And then there's a second one that's called open channeling that people do. And what that is when they just go out there and they're like, oh, I'm going to get anything. Come to me. Yeah. Right? You know what it is? There's 2 things that go along with that. One, you get shit that gets attached to you, because I can tell you from feeling, seeing, and experiencing, especially like that haunted asylum thing that I accidentally got myself into a couple weeks ago. There's bad shit out there. And so you don't want to have that, and that's what they're going for. That's why they always say don't play with Ouija boards, because there's like these neutral, like earthbound spirit things that hang out, and they're not so nice. Anyways, now then I guess I call it controlled channeling. I don't know, I didn't learn by anybody, I just did myself. Right. And I do it through you, to them and back, because it's a connection, it's a line. So there's literally, if you think about it, there's like a cord, there's an energy field, you have your aura, which has actually been proven, you have a group of energy around you, right? And so you connect to you, to them, and then back. And so it's this controlled way. And so if you don't have a connection with that person, I can't do shit. Right. People are just like, can you go and try to channel, LeBron James? I mean, I know he's not yet, but like, no, did you know?
That does make sense. That does make sense. However, yeah, I will say that I wanted to touch upon this, is that there is, I was going to ask you this next, is that there is seemingly a huge amount of conflicting things surrounding mediums and psychics and what they can do and what they can't do. And like some mediums will say, well, that doesn't work that way. I can't see spirits through the lens of a camera. But then other ones say they can see spirits through the lens of the camera. And then others say, so I mean, I've heard before that mediums say there's just different gifts or abilities. Yeah. Would you say that?
So, yeah, I mean, I honestly don't really know any. I'm the one person that I knew that could do this died, right? And I've had a couple of really cool dreams about this person, but other than that, I mean, that's really it, right? But because there wasn't a massive connection, I just took a couple classes and that it, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't crazy. But so last time I physically saw a ghost was when I was 16. Okay. And that was at my bed in my family. Now I'm 32. Okay, I'm a 32-year-old woman, but I was laying in my bed at my parents' house, and there's this random like girl shows up, and I don't know where. And anyways, scared the bloody piss out of me. I was kind of doing this, but didn't dabble in it. Ran into my sister's room, slept in there for 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm done with the bullshit. Whatever it is. We lived in a pretty intense house, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I was like, if you want this, that's it. After that, I didn't see him again. I felt him, but I didn't see him again. And it was because there's like that agreement. But I mean, of course, all throughout my life, like when I was 5, I had cancer. I lost my kidney, right? So I almost died there. So that came back. And then I had another brain surgery. And then I have a chronic illness that I've had 26 surgeries in the last 5 years that make me fall apart. And so I have 4 more. I mean, I'm only going to live till I'm about 50 because of this disease that I have. It causes your everything is very stretchy, and that also causes your veins to be very stretchy. So as it thins out, you literally die of like everything blowing up. Anyways, it's going to be fun, but it'll be great. But dealt with that. But with that, like after that, I decided not to see him, so I wouldn't do it. But then I kind of got forced into it. So after every single one of these surgeries, every single one of these things, it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And I guess in the back of my head, I was always like, I'm not going to fucking see you. I'll see you in here, but I'm not going to see you here. And so it's always worked that way. Okay. I think a lot of people that say, I see them physically, I think you can sense them. But I mean, I've never actually met somebody. I mean, I've met somebody that was call them out on it, right? They're like, oh, there's this woman, she came into this house, nothing had ever happened there, nothing, all because I'm one of those people kind of like you. It was this house over in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And we were there staying in a bed and breakfast, and she was there too. And of course I didn't say what I did. We're doing a tour, and she was like, oh, there's a little girl that died on these stairs, and she haunts them back and forth. And me and the owner are like standing back there, and she was like, this is a whole new section of the house. Like, it was like
nice.
Yeah. So they feel it. I don't know. This is my other thing, is that people are like, oh, I see them, or I see them physically. I think you can in your mind's eye, but you have to be logical about it too. Like, it's energy, and it's all energy. It's a combination of energy. And do you think that if it's so hard for them to talk to you physically, like just if they were coming and be like, hey, Bob, do you want a cup of coffee? Right? Like, if it's so hard for them to talk physically like that, mm-hmm. do you think that they would want to use all of their energy to manifest themselves so that you could say, oh, and go away?
Right.
Right? my other favorite thing about this is that, I'm sorry if y'all have crystals. I have a couple of them, but I think they're beautiful, but that's about it. So people are always like, do you have crystals? Do you use them for protection?
Right.
And I'm like, it's a rock. And anything that you give, like, it's a crystal. The crystal doesn't have energy.
Right.
You're it to it. So you're giving your power away.
Right.
And they're just like, well, you have your protection stone on. I'm like, do you think a non-human, fully energetic being gives a shit about a rock that you're wearing around your neck?
I think
No.
they have the wrong idea.
Yeah.
That by using, like, I don't know if you saw, I did like a Moldavite challenge where I wore it for 30 days straight, and I put a lot of negative energy into it, like purposefully, because I heard there were a lot of negative things surrounding Moldavite on TikTok. So I put a lot of negative in it, but nothing happened. And I think a lot of people, they almost give the crystals too much credit that they should be receiving themselves. Like, sometimes they get a new job and then they say, oh, it's because of the crystal I was wearing. But no, it's because of you. It's you. It's what you did, And I think
it is.
Give the credit to something when it's them,
It is. You're your biggest creator. You're your creator of your own reality. I mean, I could take this mouse and put it on a necklace and say, oh, heavenly mouse, please bring me joy and children. Like, it's matter. Sorry.
Looks like
yeah. Exactly. With all this, I think, too many people I love doing this. And at the end of it, when I'm done with a session, I mean, that's why I have everything online, right? That's why I have it to where people can go and watch raw and uncut. That's why I have all of, like, I just want them to be where you can go see them.
Right.
Like, go watch, right? Like, that's what I go for it. I want to take the mysticism out of it. And then also another thing is with there's two types. There's psychics and then there's mediums. Psychics are going to tell you that you left your key under your door, right? Matt, left hand side.
Kind of.
I just channel it.
Remote viewing and scrying. I don't know if you do that. That would be considered a psychic, right? Scrying and.
Well, so I don't scry, but what I do is whenever I start to channel, I usually have notebooks and notepads, but because I'm on this trip, I haven't been able to find a frickin' Walgreens here, and so I'm actually using bank statements right now.
Okay.
But yeah, all the time on every single one of my things, I go through and I get anxiety when I start to channel. I don't know why, it just gets me all jittery, and so I go through and I'll have my pen and I'm just like the entire time.
Okay, all right. So you do something similar to that.
Yeah, but tell me.
Do you think there are fake mediums on TikTok?
So this is going to be the thing. And maybe this is just how it is for me, and I'm fine with like calling it out. Like, it's not a problem. This is what I find, if you're good and if you're pure and if you're clean of heart with this, is that you don't allow other vibes to get in your space. You don't learn from other ways, because everybody, just like learning a math test, right? Everybody learns in a different way. Everybody channels everybody can sense in a different way. And if I'm sitting there being so worried about if somebody is fake or if they're real, or if I'm so worried about are they doing it right or not, that means I'm not pure of heart. And that means that I can't do my job to the utmost importance in order to help enough people. If I'm spreading my energy or myself out so much to try to hurt or defend somebody or somebody else's being, then I'm not keeping all of that for me so that I can help other people. Do I feel that there are? Yeah, I feel like there are, just like I feel like there's mismatched socks in my dryer. But I mean, that is what the world is. Right. The reason why there is good and bad here is that so we can learn the difference between it. If we were just a white box in a white room, would we ever know what black is? No. Sure. So therefore, there has to be both. There always has to be good and evil, or right or wrong, Yeah. So, do I think that there is? Yeah. And will they learn one day? Yeah. But is it my job to teach them?
Right. No.
We're out doing other things, baby. So they need to work.
My job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your exactly. Maybe that's Good job. I just kind of float around the ethers and have a good time and talk to dead people and hang out and love to cook. You know, I ate like 9 Italian pastries today. I think I gained like 3.5 pounds. So it was one.
By the way, I'm in New York as well, not the city, but I am in the state.
Where? Okay, I'm gonna go to Sleepy Hollow tomorrow.
Energy, Valesky. No, just kidding.
I know. I'm gonna go to. I thought you were like near what do you call it? Like near Rhode Island.
No, I'm in central New York, so it's the middle of New York State, not New York City.
You should go to Sleepy Hollow tomorrow.
That would be nice. That'd be nice.
What?
But
go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a video on it.
I've always wanted to, especially around Halloween, because they do. They have the Headless Horseman, and he like cosplays and goes around. I've always wanted to. I don't know why I haven't. I've been in New York City like 6 times.
Okay, you know why you haven't done it? Because you've never lived in Texas, so you haven't realized how far away cities are. You're probably like 10 minutes away from it.
What, New York City?
No, you're probably 10 minutes away from Sleepy Hollow.
No. Like
You're not...
more like
how long?
3.5, 4 hours.
Oh my God, you poor thing. Do you know the closest city in Houston takes you like 7 hours and that's a weekend trip? We're just like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's because y'all up here in the Northeast, y'all are like, I have to travel. And I'm like, how far? It's like an hour. I'm like, oh my God, well, shut the fuck up. Like, get out. Go do it. No, just okay. So with that, now this is the other thing. Wait, what's going on here? We're talking. What's wrong with... He's being wonderful. I like him. I like his vibe. Look, they're trying.
So you probably, I don't think you see my comments and I don't see yours. But it's funny because you get, someone said they went to both of ours and like, you can see like mine are like, you know, oh, what is she's just saying, blah, blah, blah. She's not even making any sense, blah, blah, blah. Like so many things like, you know, oh, they're just talking. What's going on? This is so boring. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I know. No, leave them alone. I love my people. They're all great. So, what are we talking about? Totally right about Texas. See, everybody is. Now we're BSing right now. But with all of this, hold on. Let me explain. I wanted to tell you something about something of this. Hang on. What was it? Sorry. I've been channeling and working all day and doing a lot. I can tell you that with how do we say, let's just break this down really quick. Okay. So kind of how it feels, what happens. So whenever you channel, this is the best way that I can explain it, is that everything is energy, right? Including you and me, what we're seeing, light, all this stuff. I mean, even if you take it down all the way to a molecular level, right? Like it's protons and neutrons and they're buzzing together full of empty space and then it goes to cells. So technically, literally, we should be able to put my hand through the other one, but because of the law of physics, I mean, that's not going to happen. But technically, you should be able to. So with that, when it comes to channeling and how it feels, is that once you get into this space or once you get into this neutral space where nothing else really freaking matters. By the way, never smoke pot and channel. It is a terrible idea. Don't. Your brain.
I can imagine.
Your brain. It's a horrible idea. Anyways, but with that, what happens is that since everything is energy and everything's like a frequency, I always like to explain that where you go, you know, people talk about heaven, hell, neutral, purgatory, all these words. But think about how you feel your being and your emotions as energy, but like a frequency on a piano. So like the key. So you have the lower notes, which are like boom, 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 right? They feel ominous, dark and sad and depressing. Then you have like the middle C, which is cool. It hangs out up here, which is kind of neutral, right? And then you go into the higher registry, which feels angelic and happy and light. So why are we always trying to find love or happiness? Because that's in the higher registry, right? So we're always trying to find love because naturally when we come into this place or this world, we are nothing but love. So we resonate here. And then we get into this shithole of an earth. And so we experience, remember, like the black versus the white thing, we experience this neutral zone and this lower frequency. And so we don't like it. So we're always trying to find this. We're constantly, from mother to sex to boyfriend to husband to freaking cat, right? All the way up, because that's what we are. And so when you're channeling, when you first get into this, it's almost like, I can't explain to you how to do it. It just happens, right? But I can't, it's hard to explain how to feel a feeling. That would be the best thing. And so when you start to tune in, you can feel where this person that passed is. You can feel that frequency. Is it lower? Is it middle? Is it higher? Is it way up here? If they're right around in like the middle section, you can automatically tell, okay, so for me, these comes in now with like signs and symbols and feelings. You're just like, okay, that means that they either passed of, it's like 3 different levels in this middle section. So that either means that they passed of a murder. That's more up here, because they'll start yelling about it. They're like, I was murdered. And you're like, okay, shit, they just said they were murdered. And they're like, yeah, it's like right off the bat.
Right.
And then there's like middle section where you're just like, and they feel really, really sad and confused. And so I'm like, okay, this is drug overdose, right? And then suicide feels very, very low, very, very depressed, very much down here. And they usually right off the bat, like talk about what they did. So I had this one where the guy was really anxious, really nervous. He's like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. And I'm asking him, like, how did you do it? How did you do it? He ended up going, and this was the hardest thing to explain, but it worked out great. He made me hear a plastic bag, like one you would get from the grocery store.
Okay.
And then he showed me in my head the gas that you would use to like freeze stuff with, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, did he kill himself? Literally, it's on my YouTube. I'm like, did he kill himself with like a plastic bag and like NOS or something like that? And you should have seen her face. She says he wrapped the plastic bag around his head and then pumped it in and breathed it in.
Wow.
I mean, it's that. That's what I'm talking about. That makes you go.
Not to say this is what you did at all, but a lot of skeptics would say it's possible to research this person and look at their social media and then find like an obituary or see how someone died, or because a lot of those things make the news. But how do you feel about that? Do you eliminate that readings?
How do you eliminate that? So first off, I love general. Second off, part of my thing is that I don't look at anything until that, because this is the whole thing. When you're so focused on and clearing your mind and being in that session, you don't look at it. Like, that's why I have my secretary and my husband. They take care of all that. They put it all there, done. I go into the session, clear mind. Another thing is that, especially a lot of these, it's general, right? Yeah. So you don't have one of my things I always say to people, I'm like, if you do a picture, you can send me one, because that's part of visualization, like getting in there, being like, come forward, right? But I'm like, if they died when they're 90, send me one when they were 2. Like, if they died when they were, like, don't put anything else in there, especially if it's like a name, because there's a lot of them that are like boyfriends or best friends or uncles or brothers or whatever. Maybe I'm like, just give me the first name. And if their name is Patrick, then give me Patrick. Or if their name was, I have a lot of people that send me where it's like Gumby, right? But that was their nickname, right? So you can't research that, right? If you only have a name, where are you getting this shit from, right? And I think if I can recall, it was the guy that did it, the one, I don't even know if I want to get fully into this, and I think I'm going to really quick. We're just not going to use a whole lot of names. He was gay, and she actually buried him in an unmarked grave. Okay. Because she was so disappointed in him. Okay. That was back in 74.
That's rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's things like that. And so at this point, I just can't explain it. And I enjoy it, and I love doing it.
I had a show the other day, actually, it was Sunday, and I did my mentalism show, and it was for a private party for a 70th-year-old birthday. So at the end of my show, I actually have this whole routine that where I talk about psychics and mediums and how I replicate what they do and all that good stuff. And at the end of my show, I do this like impossible test, and I explain how it's test conditions. Like there's no way I should be able to know this, but I tell someone the name of someone that they were close with years ago, or someone that passed, or someone they don't talk to anymore, but they did. And it's at the very end, and I went to this lady and I said, "Oh, imagine you're holding a picture of this person and just saying the name over and over in your head." And I said, "Is this someone I feel like you had a connection with, but it's a weak connection, if that makes sense?" And she said, she started to nod, and I said, "But this isn't someone that passed. I think it's someone that's still alive." What was that?
A wheat?
A wheat? Wait, what?
You said a what connection?
Oh, a weak, like a weak, not a strong connection.
Oh, well, that's where you're off at. You don't say you already fucked up there. That's that whole mentalist thing right there. You're supposed to know the relationship, and if you started channeling, you would say, "Oh, this is like your second cousin's wife."
Right. That would be a definitive thing to say.
And I need you to teach you, and I will be your mentor. It is fine. They call me Bougie Gandhi. I will not charge you.
But see, that's the thing is then through on there, I said, this is a friend that I think a lifelong friend that you've been talking to long distance, to which she said yes. And then I told her the name, which was Jane. So I revealed this name, and after the show, like she was freaked out, completely freaked out. And she left, another lady came up and she said, "Now, you said that you aren't a psychic or a medium and that wasn't real, that was an illusion." But she said, "There is no other explanation to how you could have done that and how you could have guessed the name, because I didn't fish for letters. I don't research these people ahead of time, nothing like that. But I did guess specifically the name." And that person left thinking, I explained to her that it's not supernatural. There's an explanation behind everything I do. But I also told her that's why you have to be careful, because, if I can do that and I can make you believe that there was no other explanation than me being psychic, then anyone can do that. And it's true. I can make people believe, they can leave my show and they're going to think there's no way I could have known this information about them, but I do.
But I'm terrible with names. I can't get names.
Now, if you let's say with this challenge, you get it wrong, what are you gonna do?
I'll probably get part of it wrong. Yeah, I will. I'll probably get part of it wrong, and I'm okay with that, because this is the whole thing with that. For me, it's not about. I don't want any money, and it's not for me. I honestly want to just give you a reading,
right,
just so you can experience it. And so, and I'll probably get some of it, but like I said, when it comes to visualizations, it's about more with him. It's going to be more about with you. It's more about within the details of intimate details that you only know and that y'all only shared and what happened. And I'm not. I don't do. I don't do visualizations like what's on this letter, and I always tell people that in channeling, I'm getting information. I'm not a telephone where I go, "Hey Bob, can you tell me what's on the ninth floor on like this over there?" Like, it's never been able to do that. And some of the ways that things come through are ways that I don't understand. Like, I'll give you a couple of explanations, and I'm just hoping that it comes through like this. So the first one was, this was about a week and a half ago. There was this female, I was channeling her for her father. Father was coming through. He was doing a wonderful job. And one of the things that I told her at the end, like I was just compelled to say it. I go, he says he looks out for the little bean. I was like, he says he's looking out for the little bean. I was like, I don't know what the fuck a little bean is. I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And she just stares at me. She was like, that's the nickname that me and my husband call our daughter 24/7. And I was like, oh, okay. She was like, that's the word that I was telling him to say before. Like, that's what I wanted him to bring up.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And I kind of look at him like, well, that's good. I'm glad I got that. Right. Like, you can watch stuff. Or what was the other one? There was another one about, I guess it was like 3 months ago. And it was this girl, and she wanted me to, at the time, she just gave me a first name, and ended up, I was like, this is like a best friend, but I'm like, it's like a fling, like, you'll totally work back and forth, you know, like friends with benefits thing. Cause you can feel that kind of like sexual chemistry that goes on there. It's like, and anyways, at the very end of the session, one of the last things I said is I said, this is really weird. I have to let you go. I said, but he's talking about sailing away in his sailboat. I go, but he lives in Mexico, and this doesn't make any sense. I was like, I have no idea what sailing away on his sail. And she's staring at me. I was like, what is this? And she goes into this book. I think that's actually on my YouTube. She has this little book next to her. It's a notepad. And on the notebook in the very beginning, she opens up, and one of the things he was passing, he was dying of cancer. And she says, they wrote down to each other, mentioned something about a sailboat. And he said, sail away in my sailboat. And so I'm like, I don't, it's like you're just compelled to say it.
Right.
And so I'm just going to see if we get compelled to say it. And if not, we're going to have a great session.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's how I feel about it. You know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And I think a lot of people think that, you know, I don't know. Some people think like I would hate if you got it, or like if like I would hate that. But actually it's the opposite. Like that would be, I would poop my pants, first of all, it'd be done.
Yeah.
Poop everywhere. Also, though,
I'll send you toilet paper and wipes.
But also, that would mean that this person, you know, first of all, that would prove me wrong and in my belief system and all that good stuff. And I would think, all right, this person could still be out there, and this medium is contacting this person. That would be amazing for me. But, you know, in my experience as being a mentalist and seeing all these and getting readings before and giving readings myself, you know, I personally don't think that it is possible or it's going to happen. And I think that's okay. I think if we're going to have different beliefs. And, you know, I don't think
everybody. Yeah,
exactly. But I mean, either way, I think it's going to be really interesting for everyone to see and to witness and see what happens. Because, you know, it's seeing the way mediums work. I see a lot of, and you've talked about some of these techniques, like the cold reading and the general stuff and all that. And, you know, we'll see. I mean, it seems like you're saying you do things a little bit differently, and, you know, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how you do a reading with me and see how that plays out.
Well, I can. Not going to be a whole lot of. I mean, usually, especially if they. I had people when they've passed, they're still people. They just don't have their meat sack anymore, and so they still have thoughts. They still have feelings. They still curse. They still they still want people dead. Like today, I was doing a murder. That was very interesting. And they still act the same way they did. They're just kind, or they do a lot of, you know, people always ask like, oh, do they feel bad about this? Or are they still mad at me? No, they're not mad. They don't give a shit. Imagine having a bird's eye view of everything that has happened and realizing how stupid it was. Like, thank you, Gibbs. Yeah. Imagine how stupid it was. And what you have to do when you come into this, okay, is I send out a thing beforehand letting you know. Men automatically have, I like to call it a wall. Men automatically have a bigger wall, but also y'all also have a softer cream filling inside.
Okay.
So whereas big candy wall, you jump in and it's just like, boo, and you can feel when it shifts. It's like, God. And so you can feel that. And so all you really got to do is just be there and just say cool. Like, that's it.
That's what
just enjoy. And remember, it's not, I mean, I may be saying the words, but I don't, like, it's just coming from somewhere. I don't know. And so just be, and, you know, people are always like, oh, you did it. Well, no, I just work here. It comes from there. And that's why, like I said, I have everything online. If you want to watch it, people are asking like, how do they get a session? Go on my website, link to my TikTok profile, experience.com. When you're bored, you can watch some sessions on my YouTube too. But yeah, they say fuck They talk. I had one guy yesterday. He was very upset with the girl's husband. They had just gotten a divorce. And he out loud, I was like, oh, this gentleman is talking about how y'all literally like just got a divorce. She was like, we just talked about it last night. I was like, oh, like they haven't got, like they're right there in the quick of it. And I was like, I was asking the guy, so the spirit, I was like, well, how are they doing? And he was like, oh, he left this morning. And so I'm like, well, why did he leave? And the guy's just like, oh, he's beating his dick somewhere in the corner. And I was like, I go, he's saying that he left this morning and he's like somewhere in a corner. She starts dying laughing. And she was like, holy shit, that's something he would say. And she's like, he left this morning and he's living in a motel by himself.
Okay.
In between. And I'm like, he's probably being taken a corner somewhere, and he does the whole thing. So yeah, it gets extreme. So just enjoy, back, have a good time.
Yep.
Oh, and show me something.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go, I thought I would show you something a little interesting, a little something about it's going to be different than what you do for sure. It's more of something I do in the way I work, and it's going to have to do with this.
Pause.
Yeah.
I like you, by the way. I like that you have this very, like, this vibe about you. You're very professional. You're very straightforward. You have this very, like, gooey center about you, and I can feel it. I like you. You'd be one of my friends in high school, by the way.
Very cool. Were you a gothic kid or emo? I was emo.
I was an emo kid.
Same.
Yeah. See? Yeah. Wait. Were you?
Mentalism.
Wait. Oh, that's exactly what, actually. And then I was obsessed with Matilda. I always wanted to try to figure out how to levitate things. And I bought books on it when I was like 5 and 6 and then never, but now I've been doing this. So it works out pretty cool instead.
So I have an envelope.
Okay.
Inside this envelope is a prediction. What I need you to do, and you're pretty good at this. You say you kind of go into like, I don't need you to go into a full trance, but I want you to just imagine for me that you are inside your childhood home. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you're there right now and you walk through the front door. Okay. You walk.
Okay.
And you start heading down, like a hallway. And maybe there's some like a clothes rack, like jackets on the side, some shoes down there, like really vision.
What if it's a trailer and there's not a hallway?
There's no hallway in your house?
I'm fucking with you. Keep going.
Imagine going through the hallway and go into like a kitchen area. Okay.
Oh.
And there's like a table or something there, or a counter. Something you can imagine that there's like change on the counter. Imagine that. Just in your head.
Okay. Okay.
I want you to,
like Obama change or like regular change?
Like pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters.
Oh, I thought you were talking about presidential because nothing's happened. Sorry.
So imagine you see that on the counter and you grab like a handful of them.
Okay.
Okay. And you happen to have picked up exactly each coin. So you have a quarter, a nickel, a dime, and a penny.
I feel like we're setting this up. Keep going. What if I picked up a gold dollar? What if I picked up a Sacagawea?
There are no Sacagawea coins. It's not.
I have
make up the rule. That's all right.
Okay, keep.
So you have the change, and you take 2 of those and you put those down on the counter for whatever reason. Which ones did you put on the counter?
I don't know how much change I picked up.
So you just have a quarter, a nickel, a dime, and a penny. Imagine doing this in your head.
Okay.
I thought you were good at doing this.
I am. Sorry, I'm just reading everybody's comments. Okay, hold on. How much do I have left in my hand?
You just have a quarter, a nickel, a dime, and a penny.
But I thought I put some down.
Oh yeah, put 2 of them down. Which ones do you want to put down?
Okay, cool. Got it.
Which ones?
Yeah. Putting down a penny and a quarter.
Does that feel random? Or does that feel like you or intuition, would you say?
I just decided because those are the first ones that I counted.
Okay, great. So you have, you said a quarter and a penny, right?
That I put down.
Yeah. So now imagine that you put your fingers right on those, okay? And
Mhm.
one of those feels like it just doesn't belong. Feels like it doesn't belong. So you separate that one. Which one is that?
I feel like we're going really far into this. I guess we can do... We're picking the other ones, so I'm going to say the quarter doesn't belong.
Okay. And so you have your finger on a penny.
Yeah.
Here's where the weird part comes in. I want you to think about whether or not you have your finger on the penny and if it's heads up or tails up.
What year is it from?
That's up to you.
It may be worn.
Yeah.
It's a 1 cent.
Right. It's a penny.
Yes.
Is it heads or tails?
The 1 cent is up, not because there's no tails on my penny.
What does that mean?
There's a 1 cent penny and it has a head, and the other side is 1 cent.
See, the tails. Heads is
okay.
Heads,
We'll split that.
So not the heads, essentially.
Okay.
So out of all that change and all those decisions, you put your finger on a penny or a 1 cent coin, and you said that it was not heads, that it was tails that you had your finger on. Out of all...
Sure. Yes. Tails. Yes.
Interesting. I'm going to keep this in frame the whole time. There's nothing in my hands.
Oh, I believe you got it. Do it.
But
literally, it's head or tails. It's tails.
I'm going to remove the envelope. And there is a piece of paper inside. I'm going to take it out full view. Nothing else.
Do it.
Nothing else inside. You had a penny, and it was tails.
There you go. Yay!
I wrote down.
Good.
I don't know. Maybe you are a genuine medium, I guess.
Right? I know. No, I love you. See, yeah, I love it. See, this is why we love this stuff.
Yeah, this
is why we love.
Yeah. That's using the skills I've kind of learned as a mentalist, which is obviously very different than what you do.
Yeah. Well, I like it though. See, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And this is why I think we both can like learn from both sides. And I wanted what I wanted to show with this is that I could sit here and mix it up and mess it up a little bit, right, for you or whatever it is, and you see everybody, and like showing that it's still there. It's just two different sides of the same coin. Now, which one are you on, though? My husband's like, "Oh, that was good." Sorry.
That was really good. You tied that in very well.
I think
a lot of the comments are saying that we set that trick up ahead of time.
Shit, I'm here in the room, and I feel like you set that trick up.
See, it was that good. It was that good.
It was. Maybe we did.
I'll pay you later.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, you talk to my people. I'll talk to your people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see? Wait, let's read. I'm so lost right now. No, we're just, we should totally make this like a whole talk show.
We should, that would be an interesting talk show, a medium and the mentalist.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll do podcast Wednesday night from like 10 to 12, late night. What? I don't get a wife on Wednesday at all. Yeah. No more. All right. Oh, well, I'm going to go and put my kid to bed. And if you have any questions, and when I get back from this, I'll get you scheduled and we'll go from there. I can tell you mine's not near, you know what? I have to say that. I was going to say mine's not nearly as complicated, but I guess I just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I need to study yours. I need to look into that.
Maybe.
Wait. While I'm here, hang on. I want to look at this really quick. Can I look at your chart?
My chart?
Yeah, I want to look at your chart real quick.
What's that?
I want to see. Well, I'll show you. I'll tell you. Hang on. I have my little thingy. When's your birthday?
I don't know if I should tell you that.
I'm not going to look anything up. When's your birthday? Literally, I'm going to see what your rising sign and your moon is. Leave me alone. What is it?
I don't know.
Mine's November 1988.
I don't think I want to give that information.
Okay, well, then don't give it. Anyways, there's a lot of Taurus in you. You also have Cancer underneath it all, and then you're partly a Gemini as well. So, yeah.
Those were all wrong.
No. You know your chart?
What?
Do you know your chart?
Yeah. I can't tell you. But my birthday's probably public, though. You could probably look it up. There's a lot of my information. You don't. I see a lot of people. They do guess my sign there. I'm pretty. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I don't show the sign very well.
Why?
When I look at you, I see someone who is. You would have, I would say, Leo energy.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. No.
That was just
no.
What if I got it? Wouldn't that have been amazing?
Wait, what?
What if I would have got it? Wouldn't that have been amazing? It would have been like Uno reverse card.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm not like, that's not my big thing.
When my are guessing my sign, how?
Huh?
They looked me up. Everyone's saying mine now.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. No, she ain't Taurus. No, not at all. No, with that, see, I just found that very, very interesting when it comes to stuff like that. I'm trying to figure all that out too on that side. So, let's go over that really quick, and then I have to go put my kid to bed.
Okay.
So, all this stuff for people talk about, astrology, right, and all that stuff. Obviously, it was like the big namesake for thousands of years, right, and for forever, right? So, with that, how does that work? What is it? What is it based in? What is that? Let's go back to frequencies again, right? Energies, frequencies. So you have these large celestial bodies like the moon, right, that pull our oceans in and out of tide, right, because they pull, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you have these larger celestial bodies like Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus that have, sorry, I'm here every Wednesday, but have these even larger pulls of energy. And so whenever you are your meat sack and then you come into inception in this whatever form that we are in, it radiates and all these come together to create this chart or this sign. And so every single one of them are aspected differently and they're weighted out in different ways as well. And so that's really what that is. And then you also go into numerology that goes along with it, which every single number has a value and that coincides with how your chart is. Like
all of that.
Huh?
Well, here's my problem. Who created that? Who created the system? Like, who created what sign means what?
Who's the person that named a tree?
Yeah, but that's just a name for something. If someone came up with, Virgo is like this, who came up with that?
Mm-hmm.
And a person, and then that person, it keeps it down to a million different sites, all saying different things about the same sign.
Well, yeah, totally. I have another good question for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Who is the person thinking in your head?
That's a good question. But I would say it is our conscious. So it is our brain has, it's like a computer. So inside it's electrons and there's a million things computing at once. So in my mind, it's not, a lot of people do say it's your spirit, it's your soul, but I would say it's your conscious, right? It's literally your
conscious.
Your same way animals can think, right? But they don't have the ability to think just like we do. So they can't make, advanced decisions like we do. So it really has to do, scientists would say it's your conscious, it's your brain computing things, understanding things, getting, just like how a computer or something can receive information. That's what we're doing. We're like constantly receiving information and sending information out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my viewpoint on it.
So what is getting it? What's transferring it?
What's transferring that information?
Mm-hmm.
It would be us, I suppose, right? It would be, if our brains get developed and they evolve, and obviously they evolved from not being able to do that to being able to do that. So it's like two computers talking to each other, which we've already created and can happen.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's pretty cool. Do you want to go into a robot? Because I do.
I do. Yes.
I'm down for it. Well, we can do that together, and we can continue to having our cool debates there too. So I'll see you in like 500 years.
Robot wife either?
It's me and him now.
All right.
Where's it?
Place end. I know you got to go take care of your...
I know. This was fun. I'll email you and let you know. And I love you guys. And thank you for everybody being here. She definitely had the war. I am partly an Aries. Yes, you are absolutely correct. So thank you. They're getting in there. And a Scorpio, right? Boom. Done. All together. You're like, ooh, yeah. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Have a good night. Be good up there. And then I'll email you in a little bit or tomorrow. Well, yeah. Well, you got my message. I'll email you, okay?
All right.
Okay. Love y'all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Welcome to the after show. Oh, hello, everyone. I'm going to be on here for just a bit. Okay. Yeah, I got a few minutes. I'm here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what just happened.
She really tried to get you to...
She really did. That's my wife. She said she tried to get me to reveal some things. I would say she did. I would say she definitely did. Some people definitely said that she would use this to... Now, I'm not saying she did this in a malicious way. She seems like a very nice person. But I would say she did try to get some information out of me during this whole conversation. Dustin, who created trees? Science, I suppose. I don't know. Oh, Spidey, you want to come in? You got to go live. Go live. And then I can bring you in. One of my good friends, Spidey, you might know him. He's really big on YouTube, much larger than I am, and also he's been on TV. He's much more famous than me. But he's a mentalist as well. So yeah, let's talk. I want to hear your thoughts, everyone. I want to know what you thought about that conversation if you were here for the whole time. I'll tell you what else she did, which I thought was really interesting, which I caught. I don't know if you guys caught it as well. She did something during this, which had to do with the person. She said, and I had a feeling this might happen. She said, he, at some point. She said he, and looked at me, like, to see if I would react.
Message.
Yeah, his message, she said. And I didn't...
Oh, your message.
And
you would react.
And I... obviously I didn't really react to that, but okay, someone else did. People did catch that. She did say his message, but I never said it was a he or a she. I've been very vague about that on purpose. So that's why I didn't say anything about it. I didn't address it at all. But I did notice that. By the way, I'm a Scorpio, everyone, in case you were wondering. So she guessed 3 that were just totally wrong. But yeah, awesome. I'm glad you guys noticed that too, because it definitely, I noticed it right away, and I was like, interesting. Ooh, okay, here comes my friend Spidey. Here he is. What's up?
Dude!
What's up, man?
That was mind-numbing.
I'll be honest, I blinked out a little bit sometimes. I would start talking, and then she would like go on, and I respect that though. I do respect her beliefs, and her ideas. But
no, listen. Here's the thing, man. Like, there was 2 things that stood out. First of all, when you were doing your piece,
yeah,
and she's going like, "Oh, hey, Magic, stop her. Thanks so much." When you were doing your piece and she kept interrupting, like with her little, like, sort of like, oh, what's this? And what's that? Oh, I guess, well, then she forgets. And like, imagine if someone did that to her during a reading, she'd be so pissed off. Like, when they do their readings, they expect you to listen and be like, comply. But you were like, you were doing a simple trick and you were super sweet about it, man. Like, honestly, I would have lost patience way before you did, because you were just sitting there and smiling.
He was definitely like, and it was annoying me, obviously, because you're a magician as well and a mentalist, so and like, obviously, like, she was being a very difficult spectator, but it was like, I thought the same thing. That was really interesting, how she was really, every chance she could get during that routine, she was trying to like
throw you off.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? Like, if we did that to you during a psychic reading, you'd go nuts.
Right.
But the reason I wanted to jump in here, Dustin, is to say this. Hold on, I'm going to go down to my studio so I can make this look a little more professional.
You're good.
If we did that to you during a psychic reading, you'd go nuts.
Right.
But the reason I wanted to jump in here, Dustin, is to say this. Hold on, I'm going to go down to my studio so I can make this look a little more professional.
You're good.
Because you look all sweet stuff. I'm in my internet now, so this is even better. So what I wanted to say is this. As you know, I teach like behavior analysis, so like reading body language and things like that.
Right.
And if you showed that discussion you had with her to a behavior analyst, an interrogator, someone who works for the FBI, CIA, because sometimes they look at footage to try to determine honesty, they would tell you that she's very aware of the fact that she's full of shit.
Really?
Because here's the thing, when she was talking about you or her life or anything besides what she does, straight to camera, normal blink rate, and just talking, natural smile, although a little forced, but like natural smile. The eyes weren't smiling, but the face was. So that's like a pleasantry. Like it's like we're having this conversation.
Right.
But the moment she started talking about her craft, her eyes went up. And there was all these the other day, and what we call resume statements. She kept saying like, well, the other day this happened, and that this other client, and then the other day I did this. All this anecdotal stuff that's not evidence, right? Like if you ask me if I do something, I'll show you that I can do it, right? Like us as mentalists, you tell me do mentalism trick, I'm going to do a mentalism.
And that's why
I'm not going to be.
That's why I brought that up. Is like, I could tell you these stories all day. I could tell you that people will leave my show and they'll never explain it. Like, and they could leave if I wanted to. I could go out there and be like, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium. This is how I'm getting the information, and they would believe it. I could literally manipulate people into believing that. So like that's why I brought that up, is because we could tell stories all day long, and you could too as a mentalist. And it's not proof.
Yeah,
anything.
But the bottom line is, if somebody says to us, okay, show me what you can do, we would go, okay, pick a card, or like think of a number.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be like, oh, well, the other day I had somebody think of a number and I told them what it was. So there, proof. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Do it.
That's another thing. They always tell me, they're like, well, I have videos on YouTube. It's like, what if we did that as magicians? Like someone was like, show me a trick. And we're like, oh, all right, hang on. Let me bring up my YouTube real quick. And I mean,
yeah. Imagine if you went to the doctor and you're like, Doc, I have a throat ache. And he's like, oh yeah, there was a guy with a throat ache 2 weeks ago. Solved it in a second. All right. Pay on your way out. Thanks. Peace out. Yeah. She was deflecting like crazy. She was the hesitation. Did you notice the hesitation? It was like, all of a sudden, all these out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Looking up, complete, and slow blinks, dude. She had all these slow blinks.
She did.
And slow blinks are something we do when we don't want to see the face of the person we're lying to. So subconsciously we blink slower because we don't want to see that disappointment. And she knows that you're going to call her on her shit. So if she was to look at you, and she would see your disappointment in her life. So dude, all of a sudden we have this looking up, we have these slow blinks, we have this hesitation that came out of nowhere. So it was just honestly like, listen.
Oh no. What?
I don't like, did I freeze?
Yeah, sorry.
At the end of the day, I'm the same as you. I don't like to polarize and say like, no, she's a fake, because it's as silly to say that she's a fake for a fact as it is to say she's real for a fact.
Right.
Our supposition is that she's a fake, but based on her behavior there, man, wow. And then, dude, that answer, I literally cried when you said, you asked something about who came up with the astrology, and she goes, well, who came up with the word tree? What? What? And like even people in the comments like, what? Like, dude, that was to me like Dustin, you got to hang up with this woman. She has left the realm. She has left the realm of intelligent conversation.
Right.
You're asking a valid question. Who came up with this? Who invented this?
Right. And
there's no standard for it.
People believe.
And she's like, ooh.
It's not like these things were sent from the stars to the internet and like the stars told you what this means. It's like literally other people telling you what the stars say they mean.
Other people like you. And then the bottom line is every English speaking person will look at a tree and say that's a tree. Every astrologer will look at a Cancer and say a million different things. There's no right. There's no like they all yeah. So anyways, man, all this to say, I just want to jump in here to say, dude, you are a champ, because as you know, I write to you all the time with my frustrations. Yes. Guys, if you follow Dusty, keep following him. The guy's a champ. And honestly, like, you have to understand something, guys. What he's doing isn't out of hate. It's out of love. This is something you guys have to understand. And when you see in his comments people who are like accusing him of being hateful, please respond with, it's not hate, it's love. It's a love for honesty. It's a love for truth. And at the end of the day, he has your best interest at heart, because he's trying to, despite all the hate, say to you guys, listen, there's a truth out there, and you have to be critical about your thinking. So, dude, huge fan. Love what you're doing. As a mentalist, as a psychologist, as a hypnotist, I get a lot of hate too,
right,
with a lot of, hypnosis and myth. But, as a magician, a mentalist, all these things, full support for that skepticism, because at the end of the day, it comes off as hate. But I know how hard it is for you, because you're a kind person, to say like, these people are lying to you. Right. And that's out of love as well. So, buddy, give me props.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate your insight.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. I barely understand TikTok, but I saw you on this and I was like, I need to jump in here. I need to be part of this.
Yeah, go follow him on YouTube. He's amazing. He's more famous than me.
I don't even know how do I get out of here
now? Here, I got you. Well, very good. Oh, thank you for the gift, everyone. Appreciate that. Oh, man. But yeah, anyways, Spidey he's an amazing mentalist. He's really popular on YouTube. Go give him a subscribe if you want. He has a lot of insight on the psychology behind the way people act and talk. Can I explain how I guessed the name Jane? No, because that's part of my show. That is like the ending of my show, and I cannot give away that secret. Because it's fine. You see, the difference is I tell you that it's not real. Like, I tell people it's not an illusion. It's for entertainment. But yeah, so my summary of what just happened, I think it went well. I'm glad we were both, like, respectful. And you could see, though, towards the end, it got to a point where we were both, you could almost feel the tension. Like, it started to build up, though, because she started to say things that I knew I had to, speak out against or argue against. And I think that's okay. I think that's really interesting. And I hope you guys enjoyed those kind of discussions, because it's like a debate. And also, I hope you guys liked the trick too. That was a fun little trick I did. How does your wife feel about you being able to trick her mind? I don't.
No, he doesn't.
She doesn't. She's never fooled by anything I do. So she knows all my tricks. Oh, man. I'm just reading the comments, reading what you guys thought. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate that. Woo. Man, that was fun. Explain the penny trick. No, I can't give that away. It's nice that, see you, Spidey. And, George Tate, what's up, man? Thanks for joining, and I know you're leaving, but thank you for joining. How did I feel when she got my chart wrong? I thought it was a little funny. It's a little ironic, right? But she also said she wasn't, she's not huge into astrology, so it was just a guess on her part. Understandable. And that's the thing about a lot of psychics and mediums, and also as mentalists, you can see I guess too, because why not? It's worth a shot, and that's what a lot of psychics and mediums do, and mentalists. We just guess, like I guessed Leo. If it's wrong, so what? I didn't claim that I can do that. But if it's right, that would have been a really nice moment there, right? It would have been an ironic moment. Just like my penny trick. You can see that was an interesting demonstration of predicting the way someone thinks. Is she one of my secret accounts? She is not. Not at all. But yeah, thanks guys for that. And yeah, she is a medium. She's not a psychic, which is why hopefully she can talk to the spirit in my life to figure out what the passphrase is. She said she's going to try. We're going to set that up, and I am excited. What?
Someone has to do the tricks work on left-handed people. You're left-handed.
Do the tricks work on left-handed people? Yes, I am left-handed. It can work on anyone. Interestingly enough. Also, I don't know if she was left-handed or not. It'd be pretty lame if your secret account got verified before my main, right? Like, oh, that would make me upset if she got verified, like my fake account. But yeah, we're gonna try to set up a. Is my wife Layla Lazuli? No, that was my friend, who was the fake medium, and her name is Liz. I'm left-handed, and the penny trick worked on me. Nice, good. It worked on Bolesky, and that's all that matters. That's what I was hoping for. Even though she was a little bit difficult the whole time, but we still got it to work. Ah, man, that was fun. Does Liz read our comments? The fake medium my friend? I mean, like on this live, I don't think she's here right now. The penny trick is not predicting how people think, though. Admit that. It actually is. There's definitely trickery to that trick, but there's some psychology I used in there to narrow things down, to get things to where I want it to be, if that makes any sense, without revealing too much. So she said, if you missed it, she did say she might get some of the passphrase wrong. She might get some of it wrong. She might not know at all what it is, but she said she's going to try, and we'll see what happens. She said she's going to set a session up with me, and she will try to guess what it is. I never heard of anyone not knowing what Tails is. Yeah, that was a little interesting. But, you know, it happened. Do I think she'll actually go through with the challenge? I can never tell, because I definitely thought there was another medium who said she would do another challenge with me, which is still on my page, and I definitely thought she was going to do it, but she didn't. Can you please let these people know the difference between medium and psychic? So there's many different definitions, and that's what I was talking about with her, is that there seems to be some conflicting things on what a psychic can do, what a medium can do, but the real definition is that a psychic is not a medium. Okay, a psychic is not a medium. A psychic can do things like remote viewing, they can predict the future, they can tell you things that you wouldn't know while not talking to spirits, has nothing to do with spirits. However, every medium is a psychic. Believe it or not, every medium is a psychic, because the full name of a medium is a psychic medium. That's the full name. That's how it originated. You can't really just be a medium and not be called a psychic. It's both. It's psychic, medium. But not all psychics are mediums, if that makes sense. I know it's a little confusing, but that's what the definition is. I didn't make that up. So how can she be a medium without being psychic? Right, she can't. Psychic mediums work with spirits and mediums. That's what it is. So mediums work with spirits, psychic mediums work with spirits. Psychic medium is the full name, but a psychic would have an easier time reading my passphrase because they could see what's on the paper, but that's not what a medium does. That's not what she's going to try to do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. It was really fun. It was really interesting. I appreciate all of you watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed some of that and got something out of it. And it's really just all build up to when she actually does the challenge, if she does. Oh, my voice cracked. The challenge, if she does. So we'll see. But I thought it was very exciting. It was fun for me. It was a little nerve-wracking. It was a little interesting, to say the least. And yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm gonna try. I think I can download this whole session, and like I'm gonna try to post it to YouTube and all that good stuff. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure TikTok allows me to do that. So I'll post some highlights and all that good stuff. I think, yeah, someone said I think she was nervous too. I would say she was. And I don't blame her. You know, she doesn't... What if I would have came on there and I would have been just like roasting her the whole time, which obviously I didn't, because that's not who I am. You know, I'm not out here to just roast people unless they give me bad, you know, someone like Kelsey Davies, who was immediately like against me, like I'm going to return that back. And honestly, not as bad as she did. But like, if a medium is respectful to me, then I'm going to be respectful to them. And that's how it goes. So the session is not scheduled yet. She said she will email me and schedule it, and we will, we'll figure that out. Oh, someone screen recorded it if I need it. I appreciate that so much. Hopefully it will save, so we'll see. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed our talk, the debates. You got to see my insight onto things, my beliefs, her beliefs, the debates. I already said that. The trick. I hope you guys enjoyed the little trick I did. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.